Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and welcome to the 100 FPL Experts videos, where we have a look and see what the FPL experts, the FPL veterans, the FPL content creators, what are they doing this game week to see if we can find some trends when it comes to transfers, chips, captaincy, find some trends and try and work out therefore what is the best move this game week, what is the best captain this game week, what should we do? The experts are going to tell us. So guys, if you do enjoy this video for Gameweek29, please do leave a like, really helps out the channel, and do subscribe as well. But without further ado, let's meet the experts for this week. So here we have the 100 FPL experts, content creators, pundits, whatever you want to call them, who contributed to this week's data. I want to give a special shout out to one of these people in particular, the person who is just there, FPL Up, who is actually compiling these lists every single game week over on Twitter with a list of the Twitter @s of every single one of the people who contributed in each given week. So I'll make sure I retweet that. So yeah, do go check him out if you want to see, you want to follow these people on Twitter. And that's, just a really amazing thing that this guy's just done for absolutely free. So absolutely amazing stuff there. But without further ado, guys, now we've met the experts. Let's kind of try and find out what these guys we see on screen, what are they doing? What are they doing this week? Well, I can tell you that 40% of them are making just one transfer this game week. 37%, so that's a pretty significant number, are making 2 transfers this game week. 17% are making 3 or more transfers. I think 3 of them are actually making 4 transfers this week. So, this is a big week for transfers, and only 6% are not making any transfers this week. No one is using a wild card. No one is using a free hit, which is kind of interesting. So maybe those are not the chips to go for this week. But what we can see here is that most of our expert FPL managers are making more than 1 transfer this game week. So it might be a week to take a hit, go all in on, the Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal. Make sure you got those players from those teams for the double game week. That's what the trends are saying. But let's have a look at some of the other chips in play this game week. So we know we've got no one using wild cards, no one using free hits, but we do have some bench boosters and triple captainers. So 4% of our FPL experts are using the bench boost this game week. So it could be a pretty good game week for a bench boost. If your bench is looking particularly good, maybe this could be a week where you can kind of capitalize on that. And 13% are using the triple captainship. So those of you guys who missed out potentially on the Salah triple captain haul from last time, you're looking for the next big opportunity to triple captain. Now is your opportunity. 13% is a significant number, considering probably the vast majority of our 100 experts would have probably already used their triple captainship. This is the next best time from what we can see so far. So yeah, definitely if you've got triple captainship, now is a very good time to use it, according to the experts. I agree with them as well. And of course 83% here are not using a chip. So it is a week where you could potentially use some of your chips, bench boost, triple captain. There's potential there for these chips, but you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to use a chip this week. Now for the part of the video where I like to look at the top 12 most transferred in players in the world. So this is out of all FPL managers in the world, all 9 million of them. Yes, there's over 9 million FPL managers in the world right now. These are the most popular transfers in. You're going to see some players in here that you think immediately, yeah, great shouts. So you're going to see some that maybe you guys are doubting a little bit. But I'm here to tell you guys that our experts do not agree unnecessarily with all of these players on the list. So just because a player is popular in general doesn't mean they are a good pick according to FPL experts, the people who really know their FPL stuff. And there is some discrepancies here. But first of all, guys, I want to highlight some players who are really popular among our experts. So the experts like these players. And these players are Saka, Kulusevski, Kane, Doherty, and Lacazette. So these players, we really are looking at Spurs players primarily. Spurs players and, the odd sprinkling of Arsenal player in there. Really, really popular to bring in this week among our experts. So yeah, these are definitely the 2 teams we're going to target this week, and you're going to see throughout this video that there is a heavy Spurs, Arsenal, and maybe even Liverpool theme running through this video. These are really the big teams to target. So yeah, I'm going to highlight some players who are, highly, avoided by experts. Experts have absolutely no interest in some of the players on this list, and in some cases even selling the players on this list as well, which is, maybe, this is a crazy thing, the general FPL manager will bring in a player, and then the FPL expert will be selling the same player, and he's kind of trying to work out, who's right and who's wrong here. But Anyway, guys, I do want to just, before we look at the players being sold and being completely avoided by experts, I do want to just quickly highlight Son and Salah, because Son and Salah, they are not being brought in by our FPL experts managers, but that is mostly because Salah and Son are pretty much in all of our expert managers teams right now. So there's not really a high demand to bring in Son and Salah. Everyone has Salah already. Son is not really a player you're going to bring in this game week. If you want to get in a Spurs premium and you don't have Son already, you're probably going to go for Harry Kane, aren't you? Really? So there we go. But let me highlight these 4 players: Reece James, Coutinho, Toney, and Havertz. These players are being very much avoided by FPL experts. There is no interest in these players whatsoever. Zilch. Zero. Nothing whatsoever. And in an actual fact, James and Coutinho in particular are being sold by a lot of people. Now, you guys are probably agreeing on the Reece James situation. We know now he's injured. He's not likely to be back until after the international break in game week 31. So it's going to be a long while before we see Reece James back in a Chelsea shirt in the Premier League. So just be aware of that. People obviously made a lot of early transfers this week, you know, really going in early on Reece James. And I guess this is just another one of those situations where you kind of have to try and understand, like, if you go early on a transfer, very often this kind of thing happens where you go early on a transfer and then you find out they're injured. It happens all the time, and which is why I just pretty much every single game we recommend just wait as long as you can before making, pulling the trigger. Only pull the trigger if you absolutely have to due to price changes and stuff. But I'm not going to go on about this too much, but basically James, Coutinho, Toney, Havertz, absolute avoids in terms of FPL experts. So let's look at the most popular transfers out, and again, just like last game week, there was a real variety of players being transferred out, a real broad spectrum where, like 1 or 2 of each of our experts were transferring out the most random players. I think there was about 45, 50 total different players being transferred out by our experts ahead of game week 29. That's a real variety here, but there are some players that are standing out, but just because there's such a variety, it is, or at least it seems to be a case that if you do have that player, you're a kind of uncommon player in your team that you kind of realize, I don't really want this player, then perhaps they're actually the one to get rid of. But in terms of the popular players that everyone has, the popular players to get rid of are Reece James, obviously, because we know he's going to be, he's not going to play until game week 31. That's no good. It's a lot of money, and there's a lot of other defenders we can buy for that money as well. We've got a lot of people selling Bowen. There is the indication that Bowen is not going to be playing in game week 29, and game week 30 may come too soon for Bowen as well. So 2 injuries at the top there, making very easy transfers out, I suppose. Coutinho is being sold by a lot of people as well. That's probably going to come as a surprise to you guys, since you saw Coutinho absolutely, I'm recording this before the Thursday night games, but in the first game, Coutinho absolutely tore it up. But he's just not a good long-term player when there's so many other double game week players this game week, for example, that are just worth bringing in for Coutinho. And Coutinho, in many ways, makes a pretty natural sacrifice. Same with Ramsey, similar situation. Ward-Prowse is in there. Jimenez. We've got the other Chelsea defender of the week, Rudiger. He's also being sold to try and get in some more double game week players, and a bunch of other players there as well. So a lot of different players being sold, mostly to facilitate new double game week players. But I'm going to show you now the players being brought in, and this one is really interesting. The players that our experts are bringing in this week, really interesting. And the reason I find this so interesting is because it is so condensed of just a few players. Like you can see here, 43 out of 94 bringing in Kulusevski, 40 out of 94 bringing in Doherty, Saka, Kane, Robertson. These players are so popular, and basically outside of these like very, very small amount of players, outside basically the top 6, Martinelli is the 7th most popular. All of the other players being brought in, there's just like a few there who have been brought in like by 1 or 2 people, just as kind of real differentials. But there's a real agreement here, a real trend here, that there are some clear best players to bring in this week, and they are mostly concentrated around Kulusevski and Doherty. And these are the 2 players that you guys should be really, really interested in bringing in right now. We know Spurs have got this double game week playing against Manchester United and Brighton, 2 teams that are really badly out of form. We saw how good Spurs have been recently against some oppositions. they've been playing really well. I know Spurs do blow hot and cold, but you take that risk, and if you're taking that risk, with Spurs playing against two teams that are playing really badly, surely it can go pretty well. A few people going for Kane as well as another Spurs option, but the other players, Saka, Lacazette, Martinelli, Arsenal players, Robertson, people kind of looking for that third Liverpool player. The third Liverpool player that seems to be the one to go for is Robertson. So Robertson is an interesting shout for Liverpool. Saka really popular as well. If we're looking for forwards, it is Lacazette really. So yeah, again, Kulusevski, Doherty seem so obvious players to buy this game week. So I really would recommend, if you're just going to bring in one player from this game week, make it one of the top 2 of this list, and then after that you can maybe have a look at some of the other players. But there we go, guys. Let's suggest some transfers for you. So, first of all, really obvious moves is to remove Reece James from your team. We know he's not going to play for a couple of game weeks. There's no point in keeping him. We can just bring him back in game week 31. If he's looking like he's ready and fit by then, we can bring him back in at that later point. So, James to Doherty, really obvious shout there. Super obvious. We've spoken a lot about Doherty as being this really good, playing so far up the pitch, right wing back, getting in these goal scoring positions a lot recently. Spurs also keeping clean sheets. He's really cheap. He's something like, what is he, 4.7, 4.8 million. Really cheap player, so definitely a player that you can easily bring in, and you save a little bit of money by doing it as well. If you want to actually upgrade James, Robertson is a good shout as well, particularly if you haven't got that third Liverpool player in your squad right now. You're looking for that third Liverpool player, and maybe you're going to free hit in 30, so you're not too worried about making sure you have players to cover game week 30, because we do know Doherty, all Spurs players, all Arsenal players, not only get a double in game week 29, but they also play in game week 30. If you're not too concerned about that, you just want to focus on game week 29 for now, Robertson is a really good shout to go for. And a lot of people have Jimenez, kind of sick and tired of Jimenez at the moment, which I completely understand. The transfer from Jimenez to Lacazette seems like a pretty sensible move as well. In terms of midfielders, primarily we are targeting Kulusevski, but I have put Saka in here as well. And the 3 main players being transferred out are Bowen, Coutinho and Ramsey in terms of the midfield position. So if you are looking to sell a midfielder, you're not really sure who to go for, you like all of your midfielders, you haven't got any deadweight midfielders, and you've got to identify that really popular midfielder that you want to sell. Bowen, Coutinho, Ramsey, those are the kind of guys you want to be selling. Similarly, if you've got a Ward-Prowse in your team, maybe you can remove a Ward-Prowse. There's loads of midfielders that you could potentially have. If you have some really bad ones that have just been sticking around your club for ages and you just want to get rid of them, then get rid of them. But if not, the popular ones are Bowen, Coutinho, Ramsey. Kulusevski and Saka, highly recommend both of those players. Kulusevski, I think, would take priority for me in terms of transfer priority, but it would be really nice to have both Kulusevski and Saka, wouldn't it? So maybe, a lot of people making multiple transfers this game week, a lot of good FPL managers making multiple transfers, taking hits. Maybe we can get in Kulusevski, Saka, Doherty. Let's get all of them in. Why not? It's a bit of fun, right? Okay, on to the captains, and I don't know what you guys thought this was going to look like, to be honest. Did you expect Kane to be captained by a few more players than this? I don't know. Did you expect there to be maybe some more popular differentials in there? I don't know. What did you guys think was going to be the situation with captains? Well, the experts are kind of not unanimous, but it's clearly weighted towards Salah. And what I should say on Salah is all of the people triple captaining, and there was 13 experts triple captaining this game week. All of the triple captainers are triple captaining Salah. So no one is going for a triple captain on Kane, although there are a few people just doing a normal captain on Kane, 12 to be precise. But yeah, Salah seems like the really obvious one. If you missed out on last time's Salah's call last time, then now is the time to try and hopefully make up for that. Salah against Brighton away, Brighton in really bad form, and Arsenal away. Arsenal really struggle against the bigger teams in the Premier League. We know that Liverpool often go to play against Arsenal and score a lot of goals. So don't be too put off by Salah's fixtures here. Mane's fixtures here as well. If you want to go for a differential on Mane, don't be too put off by those Liverpool fixtures. They are a lot better than you probably think they are. But at the same time, if you do fancy a differential, Kane, Son, they are there. Kane, I do prefer Kane to Son, but I really don't think there's too much in it between Kane and Son in terms of the actual ability. I wouldn't really want to swap one for the other. I think their FPL potential is fairly similar. I do prefer Kane, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Son is too far behind. But Kane is, if you've got Kane, you could think about captaining him. Saka is there as well at 1%, so a little bit of a differential there. I don't really like that one too much, but Salah is the popular captain, guys. So if you are really just wondering right now, who should I captain? I don't know who to captain, and you want to just follow the, you want to follow the lead of FPL Experts, then the answer for you is to captain Mohamed Salah this game week, game week 29. He is the guy who is gonna soar you to the top. I mean, we're all going to be captaining him, but, maybe you could take advantage of people who are not captaining Salah, who are going for a bit differential, which people might, to be fair. This is a good game week for Salah. I think this is going to be really, really nice for Salah. He's been playing better than you probably think he has. Don't worry. He's going to do well. He's going to do well. And there we have it. That is the end of today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy what you saw today. If you did, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe as well if you're new around here. These videos always really help me out. So I hope you guys are still enjoying the 100 Experts videos. If you are, please do let me know. Or if there's anything you'd like me to change about these videos, please do let me know as well, because obviously we want to give you the best possible FPL content. Guys, if you are looking for more Game Week 29 content, I've uploaded so much over the last couple of days. There are chips strategy guides, there are transfers, transfer target players, the players that you should be targeting with your transfers. That was easy to say, wasn't it? So there's loads on my channel. We are going to be doing a team selection video tomorrow on Friday, and there's going to be a deadline stream on Saturday, and that's going to conclude the content for the week. So yeah, there's going to be loads. There is already loads. There's loads more. That's all I'm saying, guys, so make sure you check it out. But without further ado, you guys, I think we should probably end the video. I think that's the third time I've said without further ado in this video. Let's end this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching once again, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.